So continuing on with Danaher's Kimura system, week 2, let's look at 3 problematic areas. Or we'll look at actually the pull method of finishing rather than the push method. Would probably be better from a dorsal position. So say I get Ryan into the dorsal position, I've locked on the figure 4. So in other words, if I try to finish the Kimura with a push method, notice the way his whole arms goes, there's no tension in it, there's a lot of mobility and movement in his arm, a lot of play in his shoulder. Now, even though Kimuras are technically shoulder locks, when you actually put in the braking mechanics, it's the elbow that's going. So we don't want play. So if you think about when you're going for a push method, there's a lot of play. If we even take it from this position and I start to get into this position here, there's a lot of play in the arm if I'm pushing Ryan's left wrist behind his back. We want to be thinking about pulling. So when I pull, I want to immobilize his hand. I'm going to push it and keep it where it is. My leg comes up and immobilizes his head, which in turn immobilizes his shoulder. And then when I come to the end of the elbow, now when I use a pull method to finish the Kimura, watch his arm. The only thing that moves is his elbow. All that place disappeared. So I think Donna was trying to make the point is at any stage when we get into the Kimura position, we want to use a pull method, not a push method. The second problematic area from side control, just T-Rex your arms, bro, is if I do get to here, notice the way Ryan's, just turn this way, bro. Ryan's right arm has made a frame at my hip, which is good jiu-jitsu. Obviously he wants to use that to bridge away, to put me inside the guard and all that jazz. Yeah, perfect. What am I looking to do? I'm looking to get on the power line. I'm looking to put my right shoulder, my right hip on his right shoulder, which we talked about last time. The problem is now, this frame, what do I do with that? So from here, I'm going to put it into a drill in a minute. So from here, I'm going to come up on my toes and I'm going to bring my left hip over Ryan's right hand. So I first lift my hip. Now from there, I'm going to collapse that frame by turning onto my left side and bringing my left knee to this body. Okay. Once I have that, I'm going to back step with my right leg, and now I've passed, and my right hip is on his right shoulder. Just do that one more time on that. Just be careful with your frame there, bro. If there's a wee bit of a wrist lock, you can make an adjustment. So first thing is I lift my hip. Okay. Then I collapse that frame by dropping onto my left side, and my left knee's pushing tight into Ryan's right lat, and then I'll back step, and now my right hip goes on his shoulder, and I've actually killed that frame. Just come back this way, bro. Last concept, just back to where you were. Right, we talked about the trinity of power. Obviously control the head, use my legs to finish, my legs and hips finish. The hands are just transmitters. The horsepower comes from the legs, but I think the most important concept is get the elbow to the shoulder line. How are we going to do that if he's resisting? So let's just say I get into this position here. I want to get the elbow to the shoulder line. If I try to use a push method, just resist. I'm never gonna look where Ryan's shoulder is, look where his elbow is. I need to relax, I need to get it to there. I will never get it to there with a push. I need to use that pull method again. So once I come under and I physically lock our figure 4, okay, I'm gonna be planting my foot on the mat. That allows me to lift his elbow. Once I lift his elbow, now we're at reverse motorcycle grip, and now from that position it's a pull. It's the pull method that gets Ryan's elbow. Relax there, look, see the way his elbow is in line with his shoulder. That's all I need, and now from there I'm on the power line and I'm going to finish. So sticking that just into one drill, it's going to look like this. So we're just going to put those 3 methods into one drill. So again, from our position, don't worry, we'll be covering how to get this in a later class. So we're just going to lock on that figure 4. Ryan makes the frame. I lift my hip and then I drop onto my left hip and collapse that frame, bringing my knee to his body. From there I back step with that leg, and now I'm on the shoulder. Okay, now from this position I want to talk about getting his elbow in line with the shoulder. So now I plant my foot on the mat, I raise the elbow first, but I'm not pushing to get his left elbow in line with his left shoulder. It's that pull method and that reverse motorcycle grip to get it to there. Once I have it there, all I'm going to do now is control the head, and now I just bring my head away from his body. The detail we want to be thinking about is when I'm bringing his elbow in line with the shoulder, my head is over my elbow. Does that make sense? But when I get it in line, to finish, my head moves away from his elbow. I'll just use Johnny so you can see, bro. So basically, we want to be thinking about using a pull method to finish, especially with Johnny here, because you're never going to get a bend in his arm. All those previous injuries that he's had. If I actually try to reverse motorcycle grip and put his wrist into the bent position, I can feel that's just where it is. So all I'm doing is focusing on lifting his elbow, and then the pull method. I'm not pushing with my hand. The pull method gets it in line with the shoulder. Once I get it in line with the shoulder, now from there, it's just moving my head away from the elbow to basically put it on. So the full drill is from our position, just T-rex your hands. Perfect. So we're here. I'm going to start with that Kimura position. Just turn this way a wee bit, bro. Perfect. Now Johnny's right hand is in my frame. So all I'm thinking about now is lifting my hips and putting my left hip over his right hand. Now I drop my left hip to the mat and turn it to collapse the frame, and my knee comes into his lat. Notice the way his hand's jammed in there. Sometimes you might even snag a wrist lock. I'm on my left hip. Now I back step with my right foot, and I just drop my right hip onto his shoulder, starting to get onto the power line. Once I'm here now, look where Johnny's elbow is. It's nowhere in line with the shoulder. I want to get it to here, but I'll never get it to there with a push. Using this foot as a lever, I'm going to lift his elbow off the mat. And now from that position, I'm going to use that pulling method. So I'm pulling his elbow in line with the shoulder. Notice the way when I do that, my head is over my elbow. Now I need to control his head and his shoulder. I get on the power line. Notice the way I haven't even got Johnny's arm. There's not even a good bend in it. But now from this position, all I need to do now is bring my head away from the elbow. Again, nice and controlled, we're not yanking. Notice when I get to here, it's all pulling with the elbow and moving my head away from it. I don't even need to get it to there, but Danaher prefers that bent arm. So let's just stick that, guys, into one drill.